Hello and welcome to the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. MumbiSeraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you are moving into living life truly on your own terms, because for the first time in our lifetime, we have the choice to make bold steps and bold moves that will bring us into, much closer to living, our greatest life. I'm reporting live and direct from the foothills of Mount Zion, sending you so much love, from this mystical mountain. And there's a very interesting story that has caught my attention. And I really feel this demonstrates why African nations must become more self-sufficient and self-reliant and stop taking money from the Western hand that has political strings attached. We've talked a lot on this channel about how Ethiopia and Egypt are at loggerheads because of this new dam that Ethiopia is trying to build that will literally transform Ethiopia and make Ethiopia like the superpower of Africa literally overnight. Now, Egypt has been trying to block it. They ran to the UN Security Council. They ran to the Africa Union. They even ran to Trump. And it just looked crazy to go to Trump, who rarely talks about Africa, is rarely ever, has never visited the continent as a president, but to run to him to solve a situation. And then I told you a couple of months ago when Trump allegedly called Sisi, who's the president of Egypt, and was like, yo, we got your back. Well, I also told you recently that Ethiopia and Sudan met behind the back of Egypt, and the Sudanese president actually agreed that he would come and see the dam, the construction, etc., etc. But Egypt says that this will affect their water supply because over 90% of their water supply comes from the Nile. But the truth is, it will topple them from being the most powerful country in Africa. But now to take it looks like the divided states is standing by its word of having Egypt's back, because Trump has actually ordered the State Department to suspend some aid to Ethiopia over the lack of progress, in the country's talks with Egypt and Sudan over the dam dispute. And this is a really unusual example of Trump's direct intervention on an issue in Africa, on continent he hasn't visited, as I mentioned, as president, rarely mentions in public, just is totally clueless about. But the dam dispute basically centers around two of Africa's heavyweights and most powerful nations. I mean, I don't know how they measure that stuff. Is it physical power? Because spiritual power is stronger. Anyway, so it's not clear how many millions of dollars, although some articles were saying $100 million has been withheld. But you know what? If Ethiopia gets this dam going, they won't need that $100 million because they'll be making it on their own. And I think it's very important that countries now move to being as self-reliant as possible and not relying on Western handouts. Because look at this now. Ethiopia this week said it was asking the U.S. for clarification after a media report said that Pompeo had approved cutting up to $130 million in aid because of the dam dispute. This report appeared in this popular magazine called Foreign Policy last week, and it set off an uproar among some Ethiopians who see the dam as a source of national pride. And it just shows you, I mean, are we still operating in that sense where foreign nations can actually use leverage of helping you? Because what the aid was actually helping was things like border security, I think, health, etc., etc. And it said that the decision to, just listen to how they use spell languages to create spells. The decision to create a temporary pause on some aid to key regional security allies reflects our concern about Ethiopia's unilateral decision to begin to fill the dam before an agreement and all necessary dam safety measures were in place. And this is what I tell you about the paternalistic, relationship. That thing has got to end, where these foreign nations think they're father nations when we're the grandfathers and the grandmothers. And they can now they can actually stop aid, embarrass Ethiopia publicly, and, dictate to them whether they build a dam that will totally transform their lives. I'm really interested to see how, this all plays out, because Ethiopia's Great Renaissance Dam is actually going to be Africa's largest hydroelectric dam. And even though it's caused severe tension with Egypt, which has called it an existential threat and worries that it will reduce the country's share of Nile waters, Ethiopia has time and again said that 4.6 billion dam will be an engine of development that will pull millions and millions of its 100 million strong population out of poverty. And Sudan is in the middle of all this, but and they're worried about the effects of it on its own dams, though it stands to benefit from access to cheap electricity. And ironically, as this has been going on, the Nile has risen to levels never seen. There's been flooding in Sudan. I'm not sure about what's been happening in Egypt, but the Nile's been acting up. Anyway, let me know what you think about this story. Until next time, tuko pamoja.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Hello and welcome to Africa Watch on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. MumbiSeraki with some amazing news coming out of Ethiopia. Yet another woman has been appointed to a top government position. And this time it's not just ceremonial. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you can know every single time we upload an episode. Thanks to all the people who have supported us through our PayPal. I appreciate each and every one of you. You really are a blessing to this channel, and you're able, you make it able for us to research more and to, record shows almost daily, which is absolutely amazing. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. We will be heading out to the US, so if you want to know what we'll be doing, where we'll be, go ahead and hit that notification button just so that you can stay abreast of all our movements. Now, the Ethiopian Prime Minister ain't playing. He said he was all up for this women lib, but he ain't playing. Not only did he appoint women to 50% of his cabinet and gave them key cabinet minister positions, a few weeks later, he appointed a woman president. And you know what? At that point, we all thought, it's done. I mean, seriously, what more could he do? Well. Looks like there was more he could do. Now, he has appointed the very first Chief Justice of the Ethiopian Supreme Court, female Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, head of the Ethiopian Supreme Court. She's human rights lawyer Meaza Ashenafi. This is epic, and this makes Meaza Ashenafi Chief Justice one of the, I think, only 3 female Chief Justices on the continent. And this is epic. This is huge. Now, she was nominated by the Prime Minister, and the Parliament kind of approved the nomination. And she comes with a huge track record of a lot. She's extremely competent. She's got all the relevant experience. In fact, before this, she was a High Court judge, and she is considered to be one of Ethiopia's most seasoned lawyers. Now, her background is actually in human rights. That's what she actually started her career as, a human rights lawyer, and it's absolutely epic because it shows that Abiy Ahmed is putting his money where his mouth is. Is that the saying that they say? He's really backing up what he's been saying about empowering women with his actions. Now, I know there'll be some men out there who will be saying, no, it's too much, man. The guy needs to slow down. All these women